Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial. I'm looking at paper 1 2021 and I'm going to be looking at question 2 in this tutorial, so the language question. For those of you who've not yet seen this extract, I'm just going to put it here on the screen and let you pause there to read it. And here for the rest of this page. And then over onto page 2. So you could pause that and have a read of this. Okay, so we know that this is the extract from Half a Yellow Sun. And we're looking here at the language question. So as always, we are given an extract. We are then given a particular focus, which is what is Ogwu's impression of the city. How does he, it's a bit of a weird word that, isn't it, the impression of, but I think, just think about that in terms of what are his thoughts, his feelings, his ideas, his response to the city. Think about it in those terms. So looking through this extract, and this is about the city, not about the master. So as I sort of read through this, I sort of think he talks about, his new life. I mean, it's not really about the city there, but it's beginning, isn't it? That idea of it being an adventure, going to the city. The thing that I'm drawn to is that the afternoon sun burned him, but he did not mind. So the verb burned there connotes to me pain, uncomfortable, but he doesn't mind it, showing that the arrival in the city is just sort of too exciting and he's too enthused about it to care. And that's sort of supported by he was prepared to walk hours more in even hotter sun. So you've got that comparative adjective, hotter, and you've got the verb prepared to do something then. So he'd never seen anything like the streets that appeared when they went past the gates. And so then we get this street so smooth, which is sibilant, and I might zoom in on the adjective smooth there, and hard that he itched to lay his cheek down on them. It's a bit of an unusual sort of image that, but again, this sense that he's fascinated and amazed by the smoothness even of the streets and kind of wants to touch it because he imagines it might be soft. Wouldn't be able to describe to his sister how the bungalows were painted the colour of the sky and sat side by side like polite, well-dressed men. So you could talk about the personification here of them and then the simile, obviously, of them being like polite, well-dressed men, to show how kind of neat and organised it all feels. And then we get another simile here. They looked like tables. And he's sort of amazed by how posh and expensive and sort of impressive everything looks. So we've got another simile there. I've got to be honest, I found this paper quite a tricky one. I didn't think this was the nicest extract or section to look for language, but what I wanted to show you was just my beginning part of a full mark, 8-mark answer to this response. And starting off in the way that I always do, which is around the writer uses and then whatever the method is. So I'm going to focus on that sense of the writer uses the verb burned to show that Ogwu's journey had been long. Now, I know what you'll be saying in that the question is about the city, and you're quite right, but then this kind of point is going to develop into my explanation of that, so just bear with me. So burned gives an impression of pain and discomfort, suggesting his skin would feel sore. So that's one of those real kind of key techniques for us. That idea, it kind of zooms in on individual words, individual pieces of language, and thinking about the effects of those. The fact that he didn't mind this unpleasant feeling shows that the boy is so captivated by the city that he ignores his physical pain. So this bit up to here was fine. That would be, solidly grade 4, if not 5. But then I move on to sort of explore in a bit more detail. So I've got more analysis, really, of the language in this section. I'm sort of able to say something a bit more interesting. And then I'm expanding my ideas by talking about the idea of Ogwu being captivated is developed through the. I like this as an expression, is developed through. It shows me that a student is able to find more examples, more evidence to back up their ideas. And I've got another method here. So the idea of being captivated is developed through the verb. So again, another sense of methods, the writer's methods or techniques being used. itched to lay his face, blah, blah, blah. The fact that he has an almost physical reaction to the smooth streets shows that he's amazed by them to the point where he wants to lay in the road to fully take in this unusual, amazing new environment. His perception of the perfect neatness of the city is reinforced through the simile, like polite, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there's nothing sort of spectacular about this, but what I'm doing is I'm making clear points, and my points are anchored in this idea of the writer's methods. I've got examples, I'm explaining those quotes, but I'm really sort of trying to explore in a bit more depth and then expand by bringing in that bit more evidence. So I'm building up an idea. I would go on now, if I was doing this full answer, to talk about that simile, and perhaps the one like tables underneath, look at those together. So this is about kind of half a response. So you'd look to do kind of twice as much as I've done here. And if you did, that would be a full mark response to this question. Okay, thanks for watching.